Hey guys, this is Juan with the Cine-Men Movie Podcast, letting you know that this episode is brought to you by San Marcos Mexican Restaurant, located right here at 2301 Southwest 59th Street in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. Go check them out as they have weekday specials and Wednesday margaritas for just $5. $5 margaritas on the house, on-house margaritas, on the rocks, or frozen. It's the best medicine to get you through that hump day. So don't forget to let Abel know that the Cine-Men Movie Podcast sent you for an extra 10% off your entire purchase. San Marcos Mexican Restaurant, great food and even better customer service. It's the only restaurant of the Cine-Men Movie Podcast.
A piece of me?
Do I feel lucky? Well, do you, punk?
Good morning, Vietnam! I love the smell of napalm in the morning.
You're gonna need a bigger boat.
I feel the need for speed.
I wish I knew how to quit you.
Love means never having to say you're sorry.
You do? You'll shoot your eye out, kid.
Happy Monday, moviegoers. Welcome to Pearl. Welcome to episode 211, and welcome to the Cine-Men Movie Podcast. I'm your host, Juan, and I am joined by the cast, the crew, the one-man gang. I'm joined with Edward. Ed, how are you doing this week?
Hey, man, not too shabby. Just chilling like usual, you know. Trying at least.
Chilling, new episode, new week. Man, the streak continues with another new episode on this beautiful, hot, steaming Monday afternoon. You know, I thought we were in September, and I thought we were supposed to start cooling off, but we reached 100 degrees here in Oklahoma City where we're at today, and man, I'm ready for this heat to go away.
Yeah, I agreed on that, man. It's crazy, but hey, that's Oklahoma for you. We've had all seasons in one day. Literally have seen it. So
yeah,
it's crazy.
But man, you know, episode 211, I thought we were done with A24 movies, but as you guys saw, as we hit live at the top of the hour, Pearl, a new A24 horror movie, just released this past weekend. So that's what we're talking about today. As horror season picks up, we kicked it off last week with The Black Phone. And then we sandwiched an A24 movie in between. And then next week, From Dusk Till Dawn. Are you excited about that one?
Yeah, man. I've loved that movie since early 2000s, man. That one's
Has it been a while since you've seen it? Are you excited for the rewatch?
Probably about 5 or 6 years. And
nice.
Yeah, for that matter, you know, it's kind of got at the time when I was younger, a strange cast, but now I'm just like, that was a brilliant casting for that matter. So
just a few days away from talking about From Dusk Till Dawn next week. Bonus episodes are officially over, guys. If you did not join us for this past Thursday, me and Edward talked a little bit about Akira. We also kind of just had a fun conversation. So kind of in-depth, deep conversation about the 4-year history, because honestly, it was a day, just a few days removed from the actual anniversary. So go back and listen to that episode. And now, from now on, you know, the only time you're gonna be able to check us out is on Mondays. Mondays right here live on Imsawa Productions or wherever you listen to podcasts at. Anchor, Spotify, Podbean, iHeartRadio, Pandora, Amazon Music, TuneIn, Stitcher, and now thanks to the Prescribed Films Network, the PFPN. The Prescribed Films Network. So go check them out, www.prescribedfilms.com. You can find us along with some other great podcasts as well. So you can find us literally anywhere that you listen to podcasts at. And you can watch us here live every single Monday, now from 6 to 8 p.m. So you can watch us from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. on MSOL Live Productions YouTube channel right here. Congratulations to those guys. That we all just hit a little over 1,000 subscribers on this YouTube channel.
Nice.
Yeah. So, but if you do want to listen to the Black Phone, me, Edward, and Craig last week we reviewed the Black Phone. So go check it out and listen to that review. If you have not seen the movie, go check the movie out. It's on Peacock. You can stream it for free if you have a Peacock subscription. This is going to be a jam-packed episode, so I'm going to go ahead and announce we are not doing emails today. No email bag today because we have a special guest at 6:30. And just here in a few minutes, we're going to be joined by Nicholas Rice, writer, director, author now, so actor as well. He joined us a few years ago on the Grinch episode, so we're going to talk to him this week, today, and then Ed, we have another special guest joining us around the 7 o'clock hour, around hour number 2, to help us tackle this A24 horror movie. So I'm excited to talk about Pearl, and I'm excited to see what everybody thinks about this movie. And then next week, wherever you are listening or watching this from, next week we're going to have a little bit bigger of a girthy email bag. I'm going to read a lot more emails next week. So if you have not seen Pearl this week, hurry up, go check it out. Send us in your emails, and we will read them live next week on the episode. And if you want to know how to get a hold of us, where to get a hold of us, just check it out right here. The Facebook is real simple, facebook.com/the Cine-Men Movie Podcast. You can check us out on the Instagram page, all one word, Instagram/the Cine-Men Movie Podcast. The Twitter is at Cine-Men405. And then the email, fastest, easiest way to get a hold of us is just email cinemen921@gmail.com. And we can, you can get a hold of us that way. Real fun week this week. Ed, what about you? Did you have a good weekend?
It's been a good weekend, yeah. Not really much happened. Went to the fair. That's predominantly about the only thing that really big happened. Got another little thing for myself over there, so
not a lot happened. Yeah. Man, that's the end all be all here in Oklahoma. That's the only thing there is here to do in September. It's the great state fair of Oklahoma.
Man, I thought it was a little bit of a letdown this year, to be fully honest.
Oh, it was I'll agree with you. It was a massive letdown. But I think when you go to the fair, it's about who you go with, not who you go.
And no, that's true.
But as far as the event goes, going inside, the foods, the prices, it was all a letdown. Everything is more. It seems like everything's going up another $1 or $2 every year. I know the price of admission, I think, went up this year.
Mm-hmm. Pretty sure on that.
The weather didn't help us out any. It was miserable. I know, at least when I went. But yeah, the fair.
It definitely wasn't a bad day. Just I don't know, man. I've been all right with the fair. I used to love the shops and stuff like that, but it seemed like a lot of them were kind of like just not there anymore. And what the ones there were all right, but it's just another kind of it's all right.
Another
it's
kind
fine.
of it's fine. I haven't heard that word in a long time. Hopefully we'll get ready to hear it a lot sooner rather than later.
Hopefully within the next couple of weeks. Sure, yeah.
Speaking of going out and seeing something, if you want to go support something local, forget the Great State Fair. Go and check out Rodeo Cinema. Rodeo Cinema is OKC's exclusive nonprofit art house and cinema theater with 2 historic locations, offering a variety of film, music, live events, performances, and more. Check them out at www.rodeocinema.com, or you can check out their Facebook page and their Instagram page at Rodeo Cinema. Support local, keep local. They're doing the 100th anniversary of Nosferatu.
They did on the 18th.
Yeah, okay, so I'm a day late. But they have a bunch of other great events coming up. So like I said, if you want to check out some more events, just go to www.rodeocinema.com. We've done some live events with them. We have some live events planned out in November with them as well. So go check them out. Rodeo Cinema, located at 2221 Exchange Avenue, right here in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, right down in historic Stockyard Cities here in Oklahoma City. So it should be fun and a fun should be a fun conversation, I think, here, getting ready to talk to Nicholas Rice. So I think we should get ready to talk about some movie news. Ed, other than Pearl, I didn't go check out anything at the movie theater this weekend. I wanted to go check something else out, but I just did not have the time, did not let me. But we're going to talk some top box office news as well. The Woman King, just like I kind of predicted last week, smashed its opening weekend box office with $19 million opening weekend. Those are the numbers from Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Barbarian came in at number 2. Pearl came in at number 3. See How They Run came in at number 4. Bullet Train came in at number 5. And Top Gun Maverick is still in the top 6. It made $2.2 million this weekend.
Hey, they're still flying around there somewhere, but
That's insane to me, man. $2 million. And you know what? They pushed back the Blu-ray release. The Blu-ray release was supposed to be in September. They pushed it back to November because it's still making millions of dollars at the box office. So, any one of those movies in the top 6 there kind of like hit your any kind of surprise?
not really. I mean, honestly, not really. Top Gun's still a little of a surprise, but not 100% either. Just because I mean, it's kind of becoming legendary right now. I mean, it's going on almost what 4.5, going on 5 months in the next 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So I mean, in theaters, and it's still racking up money. That I don't know, man. That's awesome to me. I think that's very, very cool. So that would be the only technical surprise. I am a little surprised with Pearl being up there. Not necessarily thinking like, oh, whatever. But usually A24 movies don't always grab up that high. Just not everybody's cup of tea, I guess, if you will. But that's awesome. How, do, how many were in your theater showing?
I had about probably 7.
I was the only one.
Oh wow.
I got there a little later than I anticipated. So all the lights were off and all that. It was kind of dark. And at the end of it, I looked around and I was it. I was just like, okay, well, hey, someone at least is here. But that's awesome, man.
So you were the only one in that theater.
Yep. So did you stay the entire credits?
Oh, dude, I had to stay, and I know we'll talk about it here in just a little bit. Okay. But yeah,
just wanted to,
yeah. Other than that, there's not really a lot of movie news things to talk about. Mufasa, the Lion King prequel, got its release date, and it also got a poster. What do you think? Disney. It kind of feels like Disney is damned if you do, damned if you don't. They put out Lion King 2019, which I think me and you were agreed on. We thought it was a real fun, fun movie. But then people are like, it's too close to the original. It doesn't need to be that way. But now they're coming out with something original, a prequel, and now they're still kind of getting blasted for it.
It is kind of that way just because, like, I think, okay, a big part of me is thinking this with all the Disney heads out there, and I'm cool with it, whatever. I grew up a Disney kid. I did. My aunt had a ton of VHSs, like legitly the gamut.
We love Disney.
My wife, I mean, literally, I'm looking over to my left, and she's got like 40 plus Loungefly bags, and over 35 of them are Disney themed.
Yeah. I got a Mickey tattoo. I love that big-eared son bitch.
So, I think a lot of what's wrong with this kind of love-hate relationship with this new Disney spur is a lot of newer Disney content isn't going to be released to make us happy, the millennials and older. They are for the Gen Z and late and earlier or
Okay,
later.
now
I'm
now
sorry.
that you completely said that, I'm bringing this up, and I know
Okay.
it's a real touchy subject. So it seems like we're both agreed. I'm excited. You're excited. You excited for Lion King prequel?
Yeah, I want to see what it's
Yeah,
got.
Mufasa. Who doesn't want to
Interested in
hear James Earl
Mufasa.
Jones?
Like,
Yeah. So this has been making the news. It's been trending, and it's really pissing me off. And I wanted to bring it up
okay,
to you.
okay.
Ariel, the new Little Mermaid movie. They got somebody who can actually sing, and she looks great doing it. Um, what are your thoughts on people using the term hashtags not my little mermaid? She doesn't look anything like the cartoon version. Um,
My thing is this.
Halle Bailey is going to be the new Ariel.
Okay.
She's a tremendous singer, and I think she looked great as Ariel in the first teaser trailer. Um, and God forbid people are even bringing up the skin color issue thing again. And I
My
just,
my thing is this. I'm going to stop you. I'm sorry, of course, but I'm going to stop that. Okay, it's about a mermaid. I'll say it for the people in the back. It's about a mermaid. It's my mic. About a mermaid. She uses seashells as a bra. She has a
are
half.
mermaids real, Ed?
Not that I've ever seen. I mean, it's like making a Bigfoot movie and he's covered in black fur. My Bigfoot's brown. Is Bigfoot real? Is Bigfoot real? I don't know. I've never seen the boy. I don't know. So my thing is like, you look at coloration in animals. There's all kinds. There's albinos. There's all kinds. Chill on that. Maybe give a different actress a chance, and you might love the movie.
Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, if she can act, cool. If she can sing, hell, even better. Okay, I don't believe that. What's his name? Who did Simba back in the day?
Oh, Jonathan Taylor Thomas.
I don't believe he's a lion. Didn't have a problem with that. I don't believe Tim Allen's Santa Claus, but I like that. If they made a black Santa Claus, okay. If the dude can act and
Wait a minute.
can
You're telling me Tim
pull
Allen's
off the
not really
jolly
Santa
guy,
Claus?
I know, right? I know, but I mean, dude,
I just think it's absurd, and I think for what's even worse is like for it to be trending. Like I can if you're upset, fine, but don't make it to where it's trending.
well,
And
it's not even that. But
the
this girl
actress
might.
the actress doesn't even now she's got like now she's not sure on her abilities, and I think she's gonna knock it out of the park.
Oh yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. This might be this girl's dream. Maybe she grew up loving the Little Mermaid. One of my wife's oldest friends loves the Little Mermaid. Guess what? She's a black woman. Okay, cool. If you like the character, who cares? It's cool. It's fine. It's good. As long as she tries to do her best, gives it her, all and all that good stuff. I don't see what the hell the problem is. I mean, don't get me wrong. What wasn't Merman or Mermaid Man or Aquaman supposed to be a white boy? But yet Jason Momoa ain't a white boy.
Merman's Adam Sandler from Funny People.
Exactly. Yeah.
Do the merman call.
But I'm saying, like, Aquaman was supposed to be a white boy. He's not. I think that's fine. I don't care. There's back in the day with Peter Pan, 90% of the time before 1952 or something like that.
I mean, Peter Pan was always
women
cast
played that role
as a woman, yeah,
because they were younger looking, had a little bit higher of a voice, and could get those notes that they needed.
yeah. They look more like an actual boy.
It's cool. some of the glam metal and hair metal guys in the 80s looked like females on those covers. And it was just like,
Oh,
okay, I mean, don't get me wrong, you look at
D.
Poison,
Snyder.
White Snake, you look at Motley Crue, love those bands. I love those bands. But they look like females back in the day because they all had the huge hair, the really slim figure. That's fine. It's 2022. Who gives a shit?
Speaking of huge,
You know?
huge, let's get into some recent watches. Like I said, I don't have a huge list like I normally would. Life is happening, you know.
Yep.
Life is happening. Good life, good things are happening. But I do have some stuff I wanted to share that on my watch list. I checked out Akira for last week's final bonus episode. Go check it out. Like I said on the episode, I thought it was okay. I know I'm going to get some flack for it. I'm not a big anime fan. Would I watch it again? Would I watch it again? Yeah, but it's not going to be. It's not going to be a go-to. Halloween 2, Rob Zombie's Halloween 2. I rewatched that for an episode of Friday the 14th podcast. The movie was, not very good. Go check out my review for that. I checked out Pearl for today's episode, and then what I want to recommend. Last week, after watching The Black Phone, I was like, you know what? I want to start watching a bunch of horror movies, and it made me want to watch Sinister. So I watched Sinister, and it completely. I haven't seen it in a few years, and I enjoyed the hell out of it. So I thought Sinister was a really good rewatch, and I was excited to watch it, and it didn't disappoint. Ethan Hawke was phenomenal. So yeah. So if I had to recommend anything, Sinister, and honestly, go check Pearl out. If you're a horror fan or A24 fan in general, go check it out. I completely recommend Pearl and Sinister. So those were some fun rewatches as well. And speaking of Friday the 14th, guys, check out this Thursday or this Wednesday. Friday the 14th is me and Nick are going to review and talk all about Dawn of the Dead. Zack Snyder's Dawn of the Dead. So check it out this Wednesday, 8 p.m. Me and Nick are going to talk all about Dawn of the Dead this Wednesday, 8 p.m. So that's going to be that's going to be the new episode of Friday the 14th podcast this Wednesday, Dawn of the Dead. Ed, what about you? Do you have any recent watches you want to check out or recommend?
Pearl, I mean, honestly, was the top thing that I actually got to go ahead and go see in theaters. So that was good. Nice to get in the theaters for that matter. And then I checked out the new the last 2 episodes of House of the Dragon.
I've only seen the first 3 episodes.
So I'm caught up at the moment, at least until Sunday.
Because there's 5 out now, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
There are 5, and it's about to change up. That's all I'm going to say. There's going to be a huge change in a lot of different things. And that does include cast. So that's all I'll kind of lead you on with, I guess. Of course, Akira, same thing like you, for that matter. That basically sums up my entire watch week. I've been practicing and all that good stuff. So, yeah.
Are you caught up? I'm an episode behind on She-Hulk, but did you catch up on She-Hulk?
I am on episode 4, so I think I am caught up until Wednesday, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
Yeah, pretty sure on that.
So, what would you recommend? Did you push out any recommendations?
Honestly, House of Dragon, definitely would recommend that for that matter. Pearl, definitely would recommend if you liked X. If you didn't like X, I don't think you'll not like this movie at all. It is different in ways, so there is that as well. So I'd give this one at least a try, and kind of go from there. If you're an A24 fan, you'll probably be pleased with this one. I think so, at least. So yeah.
All right, guys. Also, don't forget this episode is brought to you by CDR Electronics. CDR Electronics serves the OKC metro area with the best value for your electronics. They pay the most. Check them out in store at 1604 West I-240 Service Road right here in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. They have everything that you need from video games, movies, controllers, and everything in between. So check them out, and don't forget to let them know that the Cine-Men Movie Podcast sent you. to get an extra 10% off your purchase. But now, Mr. Nicholas Rice, sir, we are joined by Nicholas. How are you doing today?
Doing wonderful. How are you guys doing?
Good,
So
man.
far, so good.
Real good.
Good.
It's a hot Monday here in Oklahoma City. What about you? Where are you joining us from today?
I'm in Bedford, Texas, so it's pretty much a hot day everywhere you go when it comes to Oklahoma and Texas.
So man, it's been a few years since we've had you on, and since we've actually got to talk to you. Me and you've been keeping close, but for everybody out there listening, kind of let everybody know, you're an actor.
Yeah.
You've been in a bunch of stuff. You were also in the last time we had you on. You were promoting what was it?
It was my first book.
Your first book.
Yeah. My first book was called Overcoming the Silent Pride Within. It was just a self-help book, kind of biography type of thing. So now what I'm promoting today is much larger than that. And it's been an amazing journey. But yeah, so I think it's been about 2 years since I've been on this podcast with you guys. And I think I had some kind of idea or concept of what I was wanting to do for the movie that I have already written. And that has actually come full circle. So now the movie is fully packaged. We have some stars attached. We have gone as far as we can go with it until we can actually get the money in the bank account to start pre-production.
Nice.
So we wanted to do something to create more value for the project. And we've always had an idea of like, hey, we should turn it into a novel first and release it on Amazon, try to get it to bestseller. That way we can tag the trailer or the movie based off a best-selling novel. None of us knew how to write a novel. I'm a script writer. I can write a script all freaking day. But novel is a totally different bear. Totally different bear. So, the guy that ran my gym, his name is Nick Keller. He's an accomplished novelist, has 15 novels to his name, never hit bestseller. So we had a marketing plan in place that would allow us to get to bestseller. We hired him to be the ghostwriter, and he did such a good job with it that we offered him co-author, and hit bestseller on first day and hit #1 bestseller on day 5. So
Wow.
yeah, it was awesome. It's still currently #1 new release. So we'll probably have that tag until the new release time has expired, which is going to be around the 27th of this month. But yeah, man, it's been amazing. We're probably going to be on Newsmax here pretty soon. We're trying to set up a time with them to promote the book because Kevin Sorbo is a part of our movie, so he's helping us promote as well.
Nice.
And yeah, he's going to be playing one of the main bad guys. I think he's pretty excited about it.
Nice.
Man.
And for a lot of people, Kevin Sorbo, man, you talk about 90s action at his best. I remember just, being a kid and just Hercules. And then he was also like, he made some cameo appearances on like Xena Warrior Princess when he would be on some of her shows too. Man, yeah. And I think today he's still in like really, really good shape too. Even more than probably he was back then. Like, man, he's a workhorse. He
was big back then. He would tell you like he had guns on him. Of course, he had to have a sleeveless shirt on all the time for Hercules. He told me about shooting because I think they shot that in New Zealand. So all those kind of type of TV shows and movies, New Zealand is the place to go. But he was out there, 7 days a week for however long they would shoot whatever season. He said the only taste of home that he got whenever he was in New Zealand shooting Hercules is on Sundays because the Saturday college football games wouldn't air out there until Sunday.
Oh man!
And he was a big Big Ten guy because he grew up in Minnesota, so he would get to watch his Minnesota team play on Sunday. So that was his only taste of home while he's in New Zealand. So yeah, great guy by the way. Some people per se warned me about him, but I'm like, I've had nothing but a positive experience with Kevin Sorbo. Calls me every now and then to get an update on the project, and I'm the kind of guy like when I'm in the gym and I have him listed as Kevin Sorbo on my phone. I'm like, look who's calling me, guys. So it's always a good time. But as soon as he heard about us hitting bestseller on the novel, first thing he said was congratulations, and then after that he's like, let me see if I can get you connected to Newsmax because he's been on Newsmax before. So I don't give a freaking time. Sorry, I don't know who was calling me. Anyway,
no, you're good.
So Kevin, great. Glenn Morshower attached. Glenn's actually my acting coach, and he used to be Dallas local, but I think he's currently living in Atlanta because he has a recurring role on The Resident. He's going to be playing the main bad guy, and then Kevin Sorbo is going to be his muscle.
Oh, nice.
So yeah, and this story is great, dude. Like my script is 100 pages long, which is normal for a feature film. Nick, my co-author, took the script and converted it into a 43-chapter novel, 85,000 words. And I'm like, holy cow. He would send me the chapters as they came in, or as he would write them, so I could like review them and say, no, change this, do that. And I was just flabbergasted on how good it was. I was not expecting that. And I went to him the next day and I was like, dude, this you wrote this? He's like, brother, I don't know why I'm not famous. And I'm like, well, let's see if we can change that, man. Hey, but the book's doing well. It's called Preemptive Strike, Beyond Sight on Amazon. If you just search either Preemptive Strike or just Beyond Sight, it'll pop right up. And it's, man, I read it, and I'm not a reader. It took me about 3 days to read it, but it hit home for me a few times. And he did such a good job with some of the creative liberty that we gave him that we incorporated that into the script. So now he's going to be getting screenplay by credit with a screenplay by like payout on top of all the accolades that comes with being a best-selling author.
What would you say is the most, like, you said it was a way different process from being, writing a script to maybe being an author of a book. What would you say is more nerve-wracking? Is it?
That's a good question.
Is it like a longer process for writing the book, or is it more of a process?
Yeah, it depends on who you have writing it. Like when I wrote my script, I was brand new to writing scripts, so it took me close to 6 to 9 months to get it to a selling point. Like I could actually take the script and sell it to somebody. He is an accomplished novelist, so he took my script as an outline and he converted it, and we got to like a point where, hey, we can upload this to Amazon in 2.5 months. So it really just depends on their skill level and how quick they can do something. But Nick is really good at what he does. And I wish he could be here, but he's also a personal trainer and he had a session tonight. So he wasn't able to make it. But Nick is absolutely fantastic at what he does. And we've even, because of this whole process, we've created our own publishing company called Into Books, because two Nicks, Into Books. So hey, it works, man. It's a good play on words. So now we're going to start out being a consulting publishing company to where we can consult talented writers who've never helped or never actually hit bestseller. We have a marketing scheme that hits bestseller, and then Nick can put some of his word juju on not so well written novels and get it to bestseller. So I just had a consultation today with somebody who has a book up on Amazon, but it is atrocious. Like the worst thing I've ever seen, read, whatever. And I was like, and the funny thing is that book, I'm dating the daughter of that author. So she's like, hey, can we pay you and do this? I'm like, yes, pay us to do this. So we got that underway. And then my dad also has a book that he wants to publish. So he's going to come under the Into Books title. So I never thought through this whole movie thing, I would actually create a publishing company and become a best-selling author. Like I never thought I would do that. That wasn't the goal. Like the goal was to have a #1 movie of all time, like #1 box office of all time. That's still the goal. But I'm willing to do whatever I can do to get value added to that project. And this just happened to be one of the venues we are able to go down. And I can't tell you how many producers have told me, Nick, even if it's not even a successful book, it's still a smart option to go book first and then go to movie, because it just eases investors' minds that, oh, it's a book. Okay. All right. We'll give you the money for the full feature, because it indicates that there's already a fan base.
Mm-hmm.
So
that's what I was going to say. Yeah, exactly. Because you've got tons of books, I mean, I know these are like fantasy, and all that, but I mean, Harry Potter, Hunger Games, Twilight, different stuff, 50 Shades of Grey, even tons of stuff right there. Right. And I mean, the Harry Potter series is one of the most, up there in any of them for that matter.
Right.
yeah, so it's honestly a huge stepping stone to get from, like you said, you kind of were just like, I'm not sure how to how to book, so here, and then boom, go from there to a freaking #1 bestseller. That's amazing right there.
Yeah, I agree.
So,
not to tote my own horn, but I agree with you. Like it was
no.
it was a team effort. Like I've got a team of me and 3 other producers, and then Nick. We spent all day launch day messaging people like, "Hey, the book's out." And these are people who already committed to buy on launch day, and we put the price at 99 cents because it's not our purpose to make money off this. Our purpose is to get eyeballs on it,
Right.
And so 99 cents is not going to break anybody's bank. The funny thing is that people, they're like, "Oh, we want to support you more than 99 cents," so they buy the paperback at $10. And we have such a learning curve when it comes to this whole thing, because when you upload books with paperback and an ebook, those rankings are separate. So, like when you sell ebooks, that's one ranking. You sell paperbacks, that's a different ranking. Now, the great thing is we've hit #1 bestseller in both ebook and paperback.
Oh, nice.
So we can claim both of those. But and then we just recently uploaded the hardback, and the hardback has its own ranking. With these 2 consultations we're doing, we're going to take that money and reinvest it into the audiobook, and the audiobook should soar. Like, because I've had so many people say, "Is there an audiobook version available?" And I'm like, it's coming. Buy the ebook, get the audiobook out there. So it is. But when it comes to Harry Potter and Twilight, Hunger Games, like all those were best-selling novels before they came movies. And I don't know about you guys. I'm a big fan of the Twilight movies. I know it's like sparkle vampires. I get it.
I'm a guilty pleasure for me, man. I agree,
dude. Like once a year, I can watch those movies. It's that good. Just because I'm a big werewolf vampire fan, but I like the depiction of werewolves the best in Twilight than I do in any other saga. I don't know. Giant wolves with they're tied mentally. Like that's a good concept, bro. I can watch that.
I did like the native aspect of it for that matter.
That's what I was going to say. When you take the native aspect and put like a cultural base behind it, like it was a pretty smart idea.
Yeah. I agree, and it was one of those like they don't exist unless the vampires exist. I'm like, oh, this is just juicy, man.
Yeah.
And so yeah, but I'm a fan, and so I wanted when it comes to our story, I wanted to take something that could feel familiar, but also be new. And dude, one of our readers, he commented, or actually he reviewed, and he said, "Nick, that you're relentless, because I've been with you since the beginning of the conception of your project, and I did not expect to read a novel like that. This was like The Matrix meets Kill Bill meets Navy SEALs," and I'm like, "Hey, that's what I'm talking about." You compare my movie to The Matrix, I'm okay with that.
Right? I mean, big old, franchise in itself for that matter. Because once you get going on that book list, it's just kind of a matter of time, especially you said you're a script writer. I know that most of the time I've heard 100 pages is usually like an hour or so long.
No.
And I mean, no.
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 Well,
I was going to say, I've just heard that. I don't know.
It just depends on the movie itself. Like if you look at the script for Endgame, it was 156 pages.
Okay.
But that was a 3-hour movie, I mean, so the normalcy, like especially when you're an indie film writer or indie filmmaker, they're looking for between 90 and 100 pages.
Okay.
So they want you to, now it could it'll go through changes even while shooting. So it could potentially be way over that. At one point we had it close to 112 pages. So it just depends. But I've never heard of that aspect of like 100 pages equals an hour, because that's completely not true.
Kind of like might be a book translation, if you will, from book to movie. Might be that. I don't know. But yeah, I heard that a few years ago, and I'm just kind of like, how true is that? Never got to ask someone until kind of now. So there you go on that. But okay, there you go. Oh, I think he's frozen.
Frozen? Nick, can you still hear us? No.
Okay, there it is.
I can still.
All right.
Okay.
Sorry, I saw a circle on you guys, but I could still hear you, so I just kept going.
Oh.
So I just like a quick question, like how long do you think now the process will be until like roughly now until maybe like shoot day number one? Do you have a goal of how long you want to
Sure.
be there?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, if we can, we have people looking for the money for us, and they're all way more interested now that it's based off of a best-selling novel. So we're looking, if we can secure the money before the end of the year, then we'll start shooting in the spring.
Oh wow.
Okay.
So, I mean, pre-production will be a lot longer than we anticipated, but that'll also give us a lot more time to secure name talent, secure location. We're looking at shooting in New Mexico and Romania, and those are because those are places that have the highest tax rebates. Tax rebates means it's cash in your pocket as soon as production ends. Like they literally write you a check for 45% or 35%, depending on where you are. So yeah, it's a no-brainer, to be honest with you. Like to shoot in New Mexico or to shoot in Romania, it's a no-brainer because you'll get almost half of your budget back just from rebates. So
Just kind of make you wonder why like a lot of other people just don't hurry up and go do that, huh?
well, I know there's a lot of amounts that they can have, and so it's first come, first serve. Like there's a rebate situation in Oklahoma, but the recent movie that Leonardo DiCaprio shot took up all the rebate there.
Oh wow.
Because it was like a $200 movie or $200 million movie. So yeah, it depends. But great thing about Romania is that they don't have a cap on how much you shoot in Romania to get the rebate. Like whatever you shoot there, you get a 45% rebate on. And it's a beautiful country. So
Yeah.
Tons of history.
yeah, I'm excited about shooting out there. So
So your book, you said you have hardback, paperback, and now the ebook. Are you willing to like, or is you let people like, can they buy like bundles if somebody wanted to get like bundles and stuff, or do you have like, they have to get them separately? Because you can get, I think you can hit the bundle button on like Amazon and stuff, right?
Yeah. We've actually, this is something we learned here recently. So when it comes to getting the ebook, if you want to buy the ebook for yourself, 99 cents, you can gift it to others, and you just have to have their email address. Here's what we tell you to do, though. Like, it'll let you gift as many as you want. I mean, over 100 if you wanted to. But if you put all the emails into one order, that counts as only one sale for us.
Okay.
So I just tell people, if you can, and there's another issue to run into, but you just gift them one at a time. Like go in, gift it, check out, and then go in and do it again. I know it's a lot of work, but that would help us tremendously just because it helps with our sales rankings. I will say this, don't gift it to more than 5 people, because if you do more than 5, Amazon will flag your account as fraud. Because I've already run into that. Because Kindle Direct Publishing actually encourages the authors to gift the book to people because it's a good marketing scheme. But whenever I went in and I gifted like 50 books to people with one account, they suspended my account like that.
Oh,
so I had to call in, answer questions, and all this other stuff. And I tried it again today, and I got to book 6 before they like cut me off.
Fair to know.
So just get 5 books, and it's $5. It's not going to kill anybody, but just get 5 books to people and send it out. And we want everybody's honest opinion. Like, of course, we want 5-star reviews, but we only want that if you think it deserves 5 stars. So, yeah, which it will.
Is there any plans on doing like maybe like a on the road book tour? Like, are you wanting to take this book and do anything like maybe like some Barnes and Nobles or anything? Or what's your, if you could do whatever you wanted to, what would you go and do for this book, like on the road?
Well, I will tell you this. I went into Barnes & Nobles and asked if I could set up an author table, and they shunned me. They're like, oh, no, Amazon's our competitor. I'm like, all right. But to answer your question, yes, I would love to do that. I just talked to Half Price Books. They finally sent me back an email.
Nice.
And they're going to let us set up a table, but they're booked out, man. Like, I think I can't get into their store until January 8th of next year. So, which I told her, I was like, yes, mark me down. We're going to be there January 8th. That's one of the best ways to sell, because we need to be in front of readers.
Oh, yeah.
Like I'm a guerrilla salesperson, marketer person. Like in the gym, I'm like, hey, man, you want to support a local author? They're like, sure. It's 99 cents. Go to Amazon.com. I'll watch them buy it. You know what I mean? Like, oh, here's a button. It's buy one click. Buy it right here. And so they'll buy it. And sometimes they'll be like not logged into their account. So I'll watch them log into their account. like total guerrilla tactic warfare. You know what I mean? Like, and I've sold probably close to 15 books in the gym just doing that.
If it works,
Hey, but all I need them to do, I just need them to just the sale. But after that, I'll encourage them because none of them expect it to be as good as it is. It's really good. So if you haven't, like you guys, if you haven't bought it yet, go buy it and read it. I guarantee you it'll be a pleasant surprise.
all right, yeah, for sure on that. Haven't read in a while for that matter. So
I'm an
yeah,
audiobook
yeah,
listener, like so that's my fault. Like I wanted to have all formats available, but you know how much it costs to produce an audiobook? It's like $5,000.
Oh man.
Yeah.
But like you said though, I think you said it's coming.
Just
give you guys some time, you know.
Yeah.
And it also depends on who you get to read out the book too, right?
We're in contact with a guy named Ray Hurd. He's not a famous voiceover actor, but he's a very accomplished voiceover actor. And he's done audiobooks before, so he sent us his reel, and he's even willing to go through the audition process. Now, I will tell you this. We do have a celebrity who is committed to read the book. And he's I'm not saying his name, but hopefully you guys can. He's the OG of voice.
Oh.
Okay. And I've already narrowed it down because it's a he. So, but everybody knows this guy's voice, and he is connected to one of my producers. He's an avid reader, so he's going to read the book. So even if he just reads it and reviews it, we'll count it as a win. But we are going to present to him, hey, would you be our voice for the audiobook? So we'll see. If not, Ray Hurd's he's a friend of mine. Ray Hurd is, and he's very talented. He has a very resonant voice. And I've also contemplated doing it myself. So we'll see.
So other than trying to get the book on the road and just continue to get like a tour going or something, and to get those sales through the roof, what other kind of goals, man, other than your movie and the book, man, what else would you like to see happen in the next 12 months if you could pick something? Or even with like working out or something, with your scheme that you have there, I think last time we talked to you, you were like, you want to put more hard work into what you do, like in film and in your books, than you do in the gym. And you're a hard ass worker in the gym too. So, 12 months, man, if you had a goal, what would that goal be?
That's a good question. I'm gonna say something else first. The gym has become my office. Like I have 3-hour workouts right because I'm fielding phone calls, doing text messages, and like that. Like when I call my mom on the way to the gym, she's like, "Where are you going?" I'm like, "I'm headed to the office." So it's pretty funny. But to answer your question, a year from now, I would love for Into Books to be a little bit further along, because our plan is not to just be a consulting company, but also to be a traditional publisher. So once we get big enough, we will actually want to, sign talented authors who haven't hit bestseller yet. That way they can come under us and hit that bestseller. And we want to focus on certain genres. But we also want to be a place where they can come in and their project or their book be bigger than they anticipated to be. So it's not just going to be a best-selling book, but it could potentially be a movie, because we have all this experience on the other side as well. Because best-selling books tend to be better movies. So why not? And so we definitely want to go down that avenue. And of course, we're going to continue to pursue the saga of Beyond Sight, because it's going to be at least 3 movies. We have 2 scripts in hand right now. And according to readers and according to Nick, you have to actually pop out the second book pretty quick. So like within 90 days. So he's currently reading the second script, going to go try to get that into book format soon. So it took him 2.5 months to do the first one, but that's because he had a day job. Now he's without work. He's working on the now he's working on the other books we have coming in, so we actually have some income coming in. But I would love to see Into Books actually take off so big that we're competing with Amazon. That's what I would love to see.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Man, unless there's anything else, I know you're a busy guy. Unless there's anything else that you want to throw out there for some of the listeners to go out there and try to watch or read, man. We've been sharing some of your links on the Facebook page and the Instagram, but what's the fastest way to either email or get a hold of you, or what's the fastest way they can find your book?
So the fast way you can find the book, go to Amazon.com and just search Preemptive Strike or search Beyond Sight. You'll see the book cover, which is my producer, James Stokes, who's ex-Marine. And then you'll see me with the sword in front of my face behind him. So it's kind of like this little level thing. But it'll say Preemptive Strike, Beyond Sight. The book series is called Beyond Sight. This first book is called Preemptive Strike. So go there. Please purchase the ebook. Like just even if you don't read it, we just need you to purchase it. And if you do read it, we need you to review it. Just because we need as many eyeballs on it as possible. And the more of those things happening, then the more Amazon will get a hold of it. And if you are any kind of investor and you want to invest in a high octane action film, then please go to my Instagram account at the Nicholas Rice. That'll have all my contact information on it. Give me a follow, shoot me an email, and let's connect. But other than that, like, buy the book, because the book sells, help the movie.
And there you guys go. If you guys are watching here on Instawall Productions YouTube channel, or this is going to be you can watch it anytime. There it is. That's what Nick was talking about.
Yes.
So.
And it is very easy to find. Literally, I think when you do Beyond Sight, it's the second literal just right there. So, I mean, if you can't find this, you've maybe spelled it wrong. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, this is so easy to find, I promise you.
Yeah, and I popped it up real quick. I just Googled Beyond Sight.
Oh, nice. I didn't know it came up on a Google search. Hey, I like that.
And it led me straight to the Amazon.com. So
perfect.
Yeah.
Oh, that makes me so happy.
Yeah, and like Nick said, like honestly, even if like you said, if you guys just buy the book, go over there and give him the ratings, because the ratings I know helps tremendously.
It does.
So
it is worth the read. I will say that. I mean, we definitely need people to buy it. But if you read it, you'll be shocked. And it's not because it's my work, because I mean the idea and the outline is mine, but man, Nick put his word juju on it, and it's just a good read, man. It's so good. He's such a talented writer. I'm flabbergasted that we found him. So
good, man. Well, I want to say thank you for joining us, and this platform is always yours.
Thank you.
If you want to ever come on again, you're more than welcome to. I think it's always a joy to have you on and just to talk movies or talk books with you.
Yeah.
Who knows what the future may bring, man. I just got to say a big congratulations from everybody here.
Thank you.
I know last time we talked to you, you kind of, it was a strange, from Oklahoma, made your way through Texas. So we always have to give our nod to some of the local guys here, man.
Hey, dude.
So congratulations.
Boomer Sooner all the way, baby. All the way. I was sitting at the TV, yelling at the TV with Mom, and she was in Oklahoma. We just call each other. We don't even talk to each other. We just sit there and yell at TV with each other.
So, yeah, it's good to see one of our own go out there and, man, just knock it out of the park like you've been doing. So you have everybody's support here. And honestly, we can't wait to see what next big thing you do.
Thank you, brother. And I look forward to being on here again. You guys are amazing. I love getting on, like, where we can support each other. That's probably one of our biggest frustrations is when other creatives don't want to support other creatives. I'm like, look, I mean, we're in this together. Come on.
For sure.
So,
yeah.
Yeah.
Without a doubt. If there's anything else we can do, Mr. Nicholas Rice, we're always here for you. Reach out, and we can't wait to talk to you again. So
thank you.
From everybody here at the Cine-Men Movie Podcast, man, you have a good evening.
You too, brother.
Yes. All right.
Do I get out, or is it?
Yeah, just hit X, man. Thank you. So, man, what another fun conversation, man, with Nicholas Rice.
I just want to say that's badass right there, dude. That's go to. And I mean, I get the whole thing about not knowing, exactly how to kind of how to put one part of it out, but not the other step for it, for that matter. So yeah, go to someone who does. And I mean, if y'all combine and kind of like, he said, we knew how to get it to the top, but we did not know necessarily how to write the actual book. Like, I get that.
Yeah.
I mean, oof.
And all we had to do is just, put in a lot of hard ass work, and little bit of faith goes a long way, and hard work can go even further. So, like we said, if you guys want to go check that book out, highly recommend it. Preemptive Strike, Beyond Sight, Amazon.com, paperback for $10, ebook for 99 cents. So go check it out. You can also see some more of the links on our Facebook page that we'll definitely be sharing. But now it is time to talk the top 5. And today we were talking our top 5 horror movie prequels. All right. Top 5 horror movie prequels. I only have one honorable mention. Edward, do you have any?
Negative.
My one and only honorable mention is going to be Leatherface from 2017.
There you go.
Yeah, that's the only honorable mention that I will be having. So we'll start off with number 5. Number 5 for me is going to be The Thing from 2011. You know, when this movie first came out, people didn't really know, hey, is it a sequel? Is it a prequel? Do we even need a sequel to one of the greatest horror movies of all time with John Carpenter's The Thing? But honestly, you come to find out that is a very well underrated prequel, starring Mary Elizabeth Winstead and Joel Egerton. The Thing from 2011 serves almost as a direct prequel to John Carpenter's The Thing. So highly recommend it. I think it's an underrated watch. Number 5 for me is The Thing from 2011. Edward, number 5 for you.
Number 5 for me, Red Dragon. Kind of, I didn't know this was actually a prequel for a little while because I haven't seen it in a few years, and yeah, I know I've seemed like a dumbass for that, but it is what it is. What is this from 2002? Anthony Hopkins, of course, Ralph Fiennes, Edward Norton, and Emily Watson. But I always kind of wondered what he did to get in Silence of the Lambs, to get in that jail. There you go, man. Philip Seymour Hoffman as well. Like, big cast for that matter. So definitely, if you haven't seen that and you like Silence of the Lambs, definitely go and check this out because literally it's a great film.
Number 4 for me is going to be released from this year. Orphan First Kill. I thought it was a completely original origin story. I did the good thing and I saw this before I saw the original, and man, it was just creepy. It was eerie. I thought the actress who portrayed Esther, who replays her role in this movie, was tremendously gifted. Julia Stiles, I think, did amazing. I haven't seen Julia Stiles in so many movies. It's been so long since I've seen her in something. But this movie not only had, the original Orphan, you get a twist at the end. This movie, you get your twist in the middle of the movie, and I thought it was phenomenal. So, if this is what a year, honestly, 2022 for horror movies, and Orphan First Kill was no joke, man. I thought it was a good watch. If you don't want to go check it out in theaters, then it is currently on Paramount Plus. So, Edward, number 4 for you.
Number 4 for me, I'm going to go ahead and follow you up on that for that matter. I seen the Orphan in the the first year it was out. If I'm not mistaken, I went and seen it in theaters. That one was, I thought it was real good for that matter. I liked it. I thought it was kind of a cool thing to have like that play on her looking as young as she did, because that is an actual reality for some people. And to take that, put it into a horror film, and then to kind of even more so come back years later, and she doesn't seem like she's aged much at all. But to come back years later and do a prequel for that matter, uh, and then kind of show where she learned a few of her little tricks, like with the blacklight paint for that matter, just different stuff like that that happened.
Oh yeah.
I think that was awesome. So yeah, I've got to say I definitely like that movie. If you liked Orphan, see Orphan First Kill. You won't regret it.
Number 3, I know we're still talking top 5 horror prequels. This kind of falls in action adventure / horror as well, but it's also a 2022 release. Number 3 for me is going to be Prey, the Hulu original movie that hit this year. I would have loved to see this on the big screen. I'm a huge Predator fan. Love every single Predator movie, even if they're the bad ones. I just love the concept of an alien that looks like the Predator, that just makes it a sport. And I just enjoy that whole aspect. So when I saw that there was going to be a prequel about being in, let's say the early 1900s or somewhere in the 1800s, I was like all for it. And now news broke that there's going to be a Predator in World War I era. I'm all for that as well. So, I could watch a Predator movie almost once a year. I think there's so much you could do with that alien, with that hunter, whatever you wanted to do. I think it's phenomenal. But number 3 for me is going to be Prey from 2022 earlier this year. It's just a nice origin spin on one of the first predators to maybe reach the earth. Edward, number 3 for you?
Number 3, I'm going to go ahead and put Annabelle Creation. I liked it. I know it gets a lot of shit, but I do actually like it. I'm not going to say I think it's one of my favorites by any means necessary. I don't know. It's just something about it that creeps me out and that just kind of draws me a little bit. So yeah, Annabelle Creation, man. I don't know. The Warrens to me kind of have always allured me with a lot of different good stuff. So I've always kind of loved their adventures, if you will.
Number 2 for me is going to be what we're talking about today, so I'm not going to spend too much time on it. Number 2 for me is Pearl. Edward, number 2 for you?
Ouija, Origin of Evil. This one was Ouija, Origin of Evil. That was I forget how long before, but I think it was 20 years before or something like that. But either way, it basically goes to where it's explaining who found this game and why it did what it did with some of the characters in the second movie, for that matter. This one is definitely I don't know, it's not necessarily weird, but it's weird. So
yeah. Number 1 for me is gonna be a tie. I'm a huge sucker for origin stories and prequels. So number 1A or number 1B, I guess, is gonna be Prometheus from 2012. I love the Alien franchise. And when this movie came out in 2012, you just heard rumblings of a prequel, or this is just some kind of alien movie. And then at the end, when you finally see, the alien at the very end, you're just like, man, you just kind of get goosebumps. So number 1B is Prometheus for me. But I'm also gonna have to put Texas Chainsaw Massacre: The Beginning from 2006. I know I have 2 different Texas Chainsaw Massacre movies on here. The Leatherface is young, like 17, 18-year-old Leatherface. So, and that was my honorable mention. But I just like, even though Texas Chainsaw Massacre is not a beginning or true origin story, to me, I just like seeing this version of Leatherface. And when I say this version, I mean the 2006 The Beginning movie, and then the 2003 horror sensation with Jessica Biel. I thought those 2 movies were just fully fantastic. Really good stories of Leatherface himself. So Prometheus and Texas Chainsaw Massacre at the beginning are going to be my two number ones for my top 5 horror prequels. Ed, what's number 1 for you?
Man, newer one as well. Prey for that matter, dude. Uh, I thought that one was just awesome this year, as well as just being released on Hulu, and that's what they did. Um, oh yeah, I'm nowhere near surprised that the new well, what is it, Prey? What or Predator? The World War One after this one, for that matter. I'm not surprised that got greenlit almost within a few weeks. That one was, I've seen that coming from a mile away, because I was just like, I don't know what they're gonna do next, but I know they've got a next easily. Because Prey, dude, if you haven't seen Prey, it needs to be on your to do list, because literally that movie has such a nice revitalization to a war type movie, I guess, if you will.
Right.
And it's not war, but it's a definite battle. So yeah, I would go see that easily.
So that's our top 5, guys. If you want to let us know your top 5 horror prequels, let us know. Send us out the email, cinemen921@gmail.com. We will read your emails next week at the end of From Dusk Till Dawn. But now we are going to talk a little trivia, and we're going to talk a little, did you know the truth? The truth about Pearl. Some film facts, I guess you can say, about Pearl. Pearl was secretly filmed simultaneously with X this year. Pearl serves as the film's prequel, showing the title character's early life in 1918, decades before the events of X. The trailer was also shown at the end of theatrical screenings of X in certain territories. It was not shown at the end of the movie in every city. Ty West and Mia Goth collaborated on the script via FaceTime during a mandatory 2-week quarantine due to COVID-19 pandemic in New Zealand prior to filming X. They had only hoped A24 would agree to make the film. Fortunately, the project was greenlit before filming even began on X. To prepare for the tone of the movie, director co-writer Ty West suggested that Mia Goth, Pearl watch Whatever Happened to Baby Jane and The Wizard of Oz. So those are your truth facts about Pearl.
That makes sense.
So very, very interesting, which there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, and if you guys have, like I said, if you guys have went out there and checked it out, you guys will know exactly what we are talking about. So this episode, though, guys, before we get into the show, before we get into the movie, is also brought to you by OKC Soda Company, the craft soda company of Oklahoma, with super unique flavors like strawberry milkshake, blueberry acai, made with pure cane sugar and all natural flavors. You can get them at your Pruitt Foods, Crest stores right here in Oklahoma City. And like we talked about earlier with Nicholas Rice, support local. Why reach for that 12-pack of another soda that's probably not that good, and that they're making millions of dollars off of it anyway. So reach for that 6-pack of OKC soda and give them a like, and email them or send them a message on Instagram. Let them know that you heard it from the Cine-Men Movie Podcast right here on the show. But guys, now it's time to get into X. I know we just got done with our A24 month in August, but you know what? I was like, dude, Pearl's coming out. We just got done talking about X. X was one of my favorite movies of 2022. So let's see how Pearl will do. With a 7.5 on IMDb, Rotten Tomatoes is at 86%. And the Metascore is at 73%, while the Google users like Pearl at 79%. Believe it or not, this had a budget of $1 million. It grossed a little over $3.2 million this weekend at the box office. And its release date, it just came out this month, September 16th, 2022. Pearl is the story of how Pearl became the vicious killer that you see her in the film X, starring David Cornsweet, Mia Goth, Emma Jenkins Purro, Alistar Swell, Matthew Sunderland, and Tandy Wright. Written and directed by Ty West. And of course, as always, this is a A24 film. So that being said, Ed, this was obviously your first time as well, my first time as well. Movie just came out this past Friday. Pearl, as soon as it was over, a few short words. What'd you think?
Roller coaster ride.
Roller coaster ride.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to say insanity.
Yeah.
When it was over. And not in a bad way either, at least for me. So we're gonna dig into it. Again, if you guys have not seen Pearl and you plan on seeing it, we are at an hour and 10 minutes. Just hit the hour and 11 mark. Go check it out. Go check it out in theaters right now. Your local theater, wherever you can watch movies at. Go check out Pearl, and you can come back at an hour and 11 minutes of this podcast and let us know what you think of Pearl. Joined now by the 4K bad guy, Nick. I just went around the table and asked in one simple word, what was your thoughts when Pearl was over? Ed's word was
roller coaster ride.
Roller coaster ride. It was a one-gasm.
Mine was insanity. Yeah. Yeah, there was definitely a wangasm or two. Maybe not as loud as Pearl's on top of that scarecrow. But yeah, I said insanity. What about you?
Insanity. Spectacular. I don't know.
Spectacular. The spectacular now.
Man, I don't. Oof.
So, with this movie coming out, we all kind of knew if you went and saw X in theaters, you knew as soon as the movie was over, if you stayed for the credits, you knew this movie was coming out. You just didn't know when. And I think 2 weeks later, they announced that it was going to be coming out September 2022. Just a few short months after X. So, and we knew Pearl was going to be played by Mia Goth. But what did you guys think of actually the opening credits in this movie? It really did feel like a movie that came out in the 1910s, 1920s. Had a really good early 1900s kind of feel for it. Are you guys a big fan of opening credits? Did you like the way that the movie opened up?
I did like
it didn't take itself too serious.
I did like the tone of it. I did like the use of the fonts and all that good stuff. It was kind of now that you say that he wanted her to watch the Wizard of Oz, that makes a lot more sense on a lot of different things, because there's some of it plastered through the movie that I can see just like, okay, this is, the bicycle, of course, is one of the biggest things.
Oh, yeah.
The cornfield a little bit, kind of deal. The farm girl, of course, is a huge thing on that. But with the beginning, for that matter, the bubbly, fonts were just over the top. Like, not in a bad way, but satirically over the top. I thought that was brilliant.
That was a nice touch. I mean, it did add on to that. Made you feel like you were in that era of time. So it was pretty cool.
You kind of don't get too much of her going off her rocker until kind of like midway point, but I think right before the credits you see her kill the goose, and right before you get the title card or the opening title of Pearl, you see her feed the goose to the crocodile. which is the same, which is maybe the same. I don't know, but it's the
No.
family, at least from what you saw in X.
Yeah, because
Um,
you see what's later on going to be, but no, that couldn't have been the same Croc, man. I think like the oldest one I've ever known is like 40 something years old, and this is set 61 years before the series of X is portrayed.
Ed laying some National Geographic history on us.
I mean, how well is Pearl trained to train these
Man,
gators or
I'm,
crocodile?
I mean, I guess they come where the food's going.
I like how this movie though was just so basic. Like you don't need, especially if you went. It almost served as it felt like a sequel because you knew that Pearl was already like, you already knew she was insane, and even the synopsis that you read is short and sweet. It's not anything that you need to tie your head around. It's the story of how Pearl, the killer from X, became to be. So I thought it was just, I thought it was an easy, simple story, very well put together. I thought the cinematography shots of the farm, uh, I mean, they're still in the state of Texas, right? I know it doesn't
It's
say.
the very same
Yeah,
farm.
it's the exact same farm. So that's if I had to nitpick anything, it did kind of make me feel like, hey, how come they didn't mention where they are from? Even though you're supposed to know, hey, they're still in Texas. I had a really good Texas feel when I watched X, but I didn't get that same Texas feel when I watched Pearl. I don't know if you guys felt the same way. Am I just overlooking it? Because when you watch a movie and they say they're in Texas, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, some of the historic war movies or something, it just has that feeling. But to me, this one didn't have a Texas feel to it.
I don't know. I mean, this was set in the early, the late 1910s. So 1918 is when this is set up and all that. But I mean, most of those movies that you just mentioned, except for some of the historic war movies, give or take, are set in the 60s, maybe 50s at earliest, but 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, and all that. So, I mean, with this, later on in the movie, and I know I'm going to skip, but later on in the movie, you get the same exact car that we seen, in X for that matter. You get, kind of the same dock and all that you see. You get the same barn, everything of this, but you're introduced to a few more things, I think, because you got to think this is way before highways were invented. This is way before like roads were paved all along America and all that good stuff. You just kind of have dirt roads along a corn corn farm for that matter, as well as going into town. Some paved roads, but not really paved like we know it. Because those were some of the first vehicles and all that good
Nick,
stuff. So I
Nick,
mean,
you're from Texas,
yeah.
so do you get what I mean when I say that Texas feel?
Texas. I mean, when you're throwing that out, I essentially thought you were referring to it because they didn't have like that hot tinted heat. I don't know,
Yes,
visual
yes,
looking.
yeah, exactly. No,
It looked
that's what I mean.
in this
Yeah,
movie. The colors were all popped out. Didn't look as hot. I
exactly.
don't know. This is like, but yeah. I mean, because in X you find out they're in Texas, so it'd be weird. Like, which in this movie, I don't know if it's already spoiler territory, but she pretty much wants to get out from the area. I wouldn't I wouldn't think she like want to move out and recreate an area where she's trying to get out of.
Yeah, but yeah, no, that's kind of the tint that I was talking to, and maybe this movie was supposed to be like October, November of Texas, because you hear Pearl say she doesn't want to go to the barn and eat because it's too cold. So maybe it's a winter like in Texas. I don't know.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
that corn is dying.
And
Um,
this is early in the years, supposedly, and like I mean, yeah, in the film it's early years, but current times like hell no, it's hot. It's hot out here.
um, another key point that I liked, and you guys can weigh in. I love the fact that they used the Spanish flu.
Yeah.
being 1918. They had the masks on. You know, the dad, Howard, or no, not Howard. The dad, Pearl's father. It doesn't give a name, I don't think, but just as Pearl's father. Um, he is. Did it really say what kind of disease he had? We know that he's drinking morphine like Pepto Bismol, but what kind of I don't think it said really what he had. We know he couldn't move anything, hardly a bottom lip, but he could blink. That's about it.
The mother alluded to the fact that he got, or not the fact that, but like she alluded to him having the Spanish flu, because she didn't say, oh, you want to bring COVID back, look at your father, he can't breathe well or something like that. He didn't, she just was like, oh, your father's sick. Do you really want to get? And it was just kind of like, okay, but sick with what, and all that good stuff. But no, I don't know. It could have been the Spanish flu because that's kind of what was going around at the time. But I don't know if it did all that to you. Personally, I don't know.
What'd you guys think of having the father be completely be a complete limp biscuit? Did you I thought he kind of did like a pretty good, his facial expressions I thought were really good. When he felt like he was in danger, he breathed very, very heavily. His eyes were like really, really wide open. So I thought the actor did a very good job. Did anybody get uncomfortable? Because we know it's A24. We know it's Ty West. Did anybody get uncomfortable or just pray that you did not see a scene where Mia Goth maybe rub or do kind of any kind of dry humping on her father? Did anybody get that kind of like aspect when she was using his hot water to bathe?
Yeah. It definitely got a little bit strange, and you could even see it with the mom. But I mean, I don't know. But yeah, it got
like,
to that
please
point.
no.
Especially when, what was it? I think
the mom busted in on her and she was using his hot water bath, and she was like, I didn't want to waste the hot water.
Well, that time, and then later on when she kissed him on the cheek, I was just like, it's like after her and the projection dude got done with each other, I was just like, oh, come on now, don't go round two with your dad. Come on, man. I was just like, look, man, I don't want to see that. I'm walking out if this happens. Yeah, no. Yeah, there were a few times.
She goes to town to get some more medicine, some more bottles of morphine for the dad. The mom, played by Tandy Wright, she plays Ruth, right?
Yep.
Yeah, the mom. She goes to town. She checks out a movie. She meets the projectionist. She kind of gets high on her dad's own supply. She takes a good old swig of the morphine. And then on the way back, I don't know if the morphine kicked in, but you get the fun scarecrow scene.
Fun.
Yeah. Real fun. What'd you think, Nick, when she climbed up to the scarecrow, pulled him down for a dance? The whole thing to me was eerie. Like I appreciated how creepy it was and how creepy they made the scarecrow look. In all my time reviewing movies, I've never seen anybody dry hump a scarecrow.
Oh man, the scarecrow looked pretty lifelike too. I thought, I don't know, because I watched the trailer not that many times. I assumed maybe she killed someone and she hung up a person as a scarecrow. So that's what I got from the trailer first time. But just, I mean, her dancing with it and going the extra mile for that, it was kind of hilarious. Right? It's just awkward when, of course, when you're in the movies with other people.
We talked about this.
The loud moan.
A little earlier. Ed had 0 people in his theater. I had 7 in mine. How many did you have in about yours, Nick?
Well, when I first, because I bought my tickets, there was like 6 others, but they looked like there was more than the initial 6.
Okay.
Not a full house, but a little bit more than the 6.
Good. So yeah, the entire time she was dry humping the scarecrow, I was like, If he only had a brain.
Yep. I
Is
was just like, okay, the Wizard of Oz makes a lot of sense when you said that earlier. I was like, I wonder what what the hell, that inspiration, man. Gotta have
And
it.
then things kind of kick off because she goes back home and her mom's like, "What's on your head? Where's my money?" And like, she's like, "Wash your hair, wash that hat, or get rid of the hat because you could have the Spanish flu on there." Um, this doesn't have a big cast, which I'm okay with. You also meet Misty, played by Emma Jenkins Purrow, which is Howard's sister, um, Pearl's or sister-in-law.
Yep.
Um, Throughout the whole movie, they laid the pig down, and the pig just keeps getting more and more grotesque because the mom doesn't welcome the food into their home, so she leaves it on the porch. What do you guys think of the maggot infested pig by the end of the day?
Why wouldn't you just? I understand not necessarily throwing it out at first, but why wouldn't you just go ahead and toss it? I don't know. I don't want. Yeah.
what a waste of food. Um,
Yeah.
like they kept passing by, like, oh, someone's just gonna grab it. Nah, I'm just gonna leave it there. And maybe I think it was just done on purpose. So I mean, when the guy Pearl meets at the theater, he comes across it, and then this her sister-in-law seeing it also, like, oh, I don't
So
know,
I
it's
mean,
good for the movie.
she probably got offended by it because she's just like, we bought y'all good food. We're not sick. We watch out for ourselves, and y'all are actually family, kind of, and y'all just go ahead and chunk us out like we're disgusting. And then all of a sudden, projectionist dude comes up, sees it as well, and right there, he's kind of like, okay, what's wrong with this girl? And she doesn't think about nor realize that that's kind of his first kind of hit on, hey, this is a red flag, dude. You probably just get out of here. But then, goes in, meets father, like, okay, cool, whatever. Doesn't meet mom, doesn't say anything, doesn't think about it, goes upstairs with girl and all that. And just, yeah, hears the noises, kind of like, the hell is that? Oh, the dog. That's all. Just a dog. But yeah, his best decision was, well, one of his last. Not even executed right. Poor guy.
It's kind of hoping you
Poor
escape.
guy.
Need that kill count, man.
Hey, I thought with that kill, for that matter, I thought it was going to be through the back, not through the front. I thought it was just going to be right when he was starting it up, boom, right there, and he goes off, and it just gets yanked out of him while he's going on in the vehicle. I thought that was going to happen, but when they showed her in front of him, talking to him and all that, and then the stab, man, that was a good kind of like, okay, make you think, do another.
With it being a horror movie, I have to say I do applaud them, just like an X. You have to applaud the practical effects, the makeup,
Mhm.
but you also have to like applaud the way the kills were just so different. Each one was different. She used almost a different method for each one. Um, the mom technically, and let's point this out. Let's talk about for just a little bit the arguments back and forth between Pearl and her mom as the movie kept growing, their chemistry got better, but then they just kept getting worse and worse character wise. Like Pearl was getting fed up, the mom was getting fed up, and then it just reached a boiling point, no pun intended. And like it what'd you guys think of, the mom and Pearl just arguing there at the end? And you see the dad, I felt bad for the dad. He's just sitting there in the middle of all this, and he's stuck in the middle. Nick, what'd you think about the mom getting caught on fire?
I mean, it's kind of a guarantee, right? I remember reading a comment, like, I think it was on a trailer. They're like, oh, it's on A24 unless a film, unless someone's on fire. But yeah, just like how it was done accidental, but still like, oh, well, at least you don't have to feel guilty. Well, not too much. Like, well, there's your reason. You wanted her pretty much dead. It's kind of like got lucky with it. But the part that I thought was savage is like she's already in the basement area, and then Pearl she does like a kick, just someone's out.
She kicks her back down the stairs. And you know what? I think that the aspect of it that really got Pearl was her mom was like, "Don't think I haven't been seeing you do what you do when nobody is watching."
Or when you think nobody's watching,
yeah,
at least.
or when you think nobody's watching. And throughout the movie, you can see her. You know, she kills the goose.
Pops the egg.
She pops the egg. That egg scene was intense.
Yeah.
I don't know about you guys, but yeah.
For something just that small little slight right there, that was
super intense.
The savage part of the whole burning mom thing was taking the scalding hot corncob water, and that's what you put her out with, man. I was just like, this woman's already on fire, burning and all that, and then all you do is take a 10 or 12, 15 quart pot of burning water and just, here you go.
You see the corn drop.
Yeah.
Yep. Which, I mean, I guess in the time of need, you know, you're not thinking about it, just whatever. But, oh my God, talk about insult to injury. Oh.
It's like one of those gags. You're just setting fires on fire. Just light up the steel.
That was nuts right there, man. Because, I mean, that had to be painful. And then, you know, exactly the whole basement scene. Just chucks her down the basement like a piece of shit.
So you already got it. I'm still alive, though.
You know, and I mean, all this just, you know, I like the motive. Because all of this to try and get in the film industry. And I mean, more for her dancing in the film industry. But the film industry nonetheless. And it's
kill or be killed.
Well, I mean, it depicts, you know, how much some people will do to get there. You know, and I mean, she didn't maybe mean to kill her mother. She did mean to kill her father and Mitzi and projection dude. But, you know, after all that.
I'm glad you brought that up, though, because also bringing up, you got to bring up her boiling points. She talks about it a little bit later on, which we're definitely going to get into. But her loving, dearing husband that you see in X, Howard, is nowhere to be found in the movie. You know, he's overseas in war. And I thought you would get a little bit more of Howard in this movie. But I also appreciate the fact that you didn't get any of Howard because the movie's name is Pearl. You know?
And I mean,
Howard.
Talking about him, though, I just want to, go on the fact that this dude gets back from war, dropped off at the front door almost.
Hold on. We'll get there.
Yeah. Okay.
The next death, though, is let's talk about the dad's death. You know, she teases that she's going to drop him in with the crocodile. What'd you guys think about that small scene first?
Oh, my God. I understand, but wow, she was that close, man. Literally. And then when nothing happened, because when the mom's standing there talking to her, all I'm thinking is that croc's about to jump. Because when the crocodile jumped or the alligator or whatever jumped and hit the bird, the goose, I'm thinking that's a predecessor to this attack right here. And nothing happens. I'm just like, you've got to be joking. Do
you guys wish he pushed him in there, or are you happy with the simple pillow over the face death?
Well, no, it was sheet. It was a sheet. She took it off, folded up,
she suffocated him.
Yeah,
put him out of his misery. That was nice for her, I guess you can say that. But within that scene of her like that when her mom came out, I mean, it could have gone either way. Like the alligator popped up and attacked out of nowhere. I was like, but I was kind of hoping that Pearl just went ahead and did like so you ain't gonna stop your mom and just throw him anyway.
Oh my god, that would have been nuts right there just to see. Because I mean, you've got not much tension built up at that point to the point where it's going to get, but just enough to where it's almost at that point of like, I'm not into this anymore. I want to leave. I'm ready to go. Because when the mom brought that up, that you feel like you're better than us, better than your father and I, better than here, are it was kind of a serious thing of like, no, I don't think she thinks she's better. It's just she doesn't think this life's for her. That's all it is. But when her mom's stuck in that, but she's at least stuck in that with the daughter, with Pearl. So I mean, to her, it's kind of like, you're what I have. It's only you and I. You and I are the only ones who make this survive. And just to kind of go from seeing X, where she's on that farm and it's just her and Howard, and that's kind of all it is really, to going to see that it's just her, Ruth, her mom, and her dad, who's in a vegetative state. It's kind of the same scenario. She literally ended up right. She didn't do anything. She didn't go anywhere. So it's kind of like when she told uh Maxine, like, I was like you, I had the it factor, I had, the special thing that everybody was looking for. It's kind of a lie, and especially when you get into this movie, you see that it's that lie, and that, that's kind of how she's built her character, for that matter. Her character is a habitual liar, for that matter, that drags the truth and will go ahead and essentially what is in her head is the truth. Essentially what she wants to be is, the truth.
What'd you guys think of? You guys kind of already led lie about their projectionist death. He was more, maybe more traditional of your kill with the stabbing of the pitchfork. Um, do you guys enjoy his death? Did you kind of wish he would get away, or what about you, Nick? Did you enjoy the projectionist death?
Well, he got what he deserved. No, all messed up. No, I liked, like I said, it was, you got to rank up those numbers. I mean, it wasn't a whole lot of deaths, but it was a nice one. I mean, maybe the relationship wasn't gonna go long far anyway. I mean, about Howard, he makes it a reoccurrence. I honestly, within that scene, because I remember they passed by a troop, or I was like a guy
Oh yeah,
walking.
yep.
I almost thought, like, is that Howard? Like, they passed him, and she was like just trying to kind of hide herself. So whenever that scene where they hear the noise, like, what's that? I was expecting Howard to walk in, and then that scene just escalated.
Yeah, very much so.
And then you have the oh so uncomfortable audition.
That was
She
uncomfortable
meet,
for you.
huh?
So that was uncomfortable for you.
Yeah, the uncomfortable where she meets back up with Misty. She has the audition, and then she's so sure that she's gonna get it. She's like, I have to get it. I can't do anything if she doesn't get it. You get the crying, the screeching. It was uncomfortable, but and Misty's actually like, no, you go first. I can't go.
I don't think that, like, it wasn't the audition that was uncomfortable. It was right after it, that scream crying. I'll agree with that part of it, because that just pierces the ears, man. That just makes you have a headache every time. You feel bad for her, but at the same time, after what atrocities she has committed, you don't. Just because at the end of the day, they literally, which is kind of a screwed up thing, and that's kind of why I think acting companies put out what they do now, as in a slight description of what they're looking for. Because back then, they didn't put out nothing. They were just like, oh, we're looking for girls for a dance troupe or dance squad or whatever. And she was like, okay, I can dance. And, they're like, well, we're looking for someone younger and blonde. It's like, okay, she can't be more than like 22 years old at max. So I'm just like, this girl isn't that old at all. What are you looking for? 15? Like, that's a little creepy, but okay. And I mean, the friend I don't think was that much younger, maybe 19, 18, I don't know, but didn't state ages or anything like that. But just the blonde thing, that's really it. That was the special factor that they were looking for. So it's kind of like you were doomed from the beginning. And now that you recall, I guess all the girls that did come out crying were in fact brunettes. So
Yeah.
yeah,
He told her too. He wanted, blue eyed, blonde. You know. Nick, did you like the crying scene, or as soon as Misty walked up to her and she was crying, saying, "Hey, let me at least take you home," did you think it was just a matter of time before Misty got hers?
Yeah, it's like why is it taking so long to? I mean, I probably wouldn't say like, oh, I got the part that you didn't, but of course Pearl knew like all this girl's a bit younger than me, and she's blonde. But I thought her audition on she gave a great performance, but at the end of the day, it was like doesn't matter. You want the appearance, but as far as the the judges, I thought it was cool that they were like turned into like her parents and Howard.
Yeah.
It's creepy.
Had a nice Texas Chainsaw like feel to it at the end whenever she put her uh everybody around the dinner table with
Right.
the pig and everything. But
God,
but I want to talk about Mia Goth's performance when she's sitting at the table across from Misty, and Misty's like, "Pretend I'm Howard. Tell me everything." And literally from the time she says, "Are you sure?" until Misty gets up and goes away. It's a bit lengthy, don't get me wrong. The dialogue's a bit lengthy, but from a female actress wise performance, dude, I got chills with her sitting there when the camera was solely just on Mia Goth. Mia Goth to me gave a performance of a lifetime, and I think this is Mia Goth's best performance. The scene was absolutely like just ground shaking for her. Her lip was quivering. Her tears were just rolling down her face. Like, I know I'm a huge, uh, you know, big overseer and just fan of A24, but taking all this stuff away, like, I think if Mia Goth does not get some kind of nomination for Best Actress for this movie, like, I think it could really be like a shame. And I know it's a horror movie, and a lot of horror movies don't get looked at come Oscar season, but it is a September release. It is Oscar season, and it's an A24 movie. So I'm kind of hoping maybe Mia Goth's performance gets recognized. But that whole dinner table scene where she's explaining to Misty, I got goosebumps watching her, tell her dirty laundry right there in front of Misty. What about you guys?
Yeah, if I was that, anyone really would be uncomfortable. But the fact that she threw out like telling her like she wanted her brother to die with her. I hoped he died or something like that,
Yeah.
and then expecting not to like react. I'm just gonna slowly walk away from the everything's all good.
man, yeah, because literally like that whole like her entire I thought through that scene, like her opening up to Mitzi, I thought that Mitzi was going to be good. I thought she was maybe going to be the one that made it out alive because, well, obviously, I've never heard of the movie called Pearl Song. It's about a woman named Pearl, for that matter, Jeremy. So there's that. So I was wondering that would she be the one to make it out alive? Would she be fine? Because literally it's your husband's sister. Like that I don't know. I mean, I guess he never uncovers that, or maybe he's too afraid to leave after he comes home, or what. But damn, man, that scene right there is nuts.
Yeah.
That oh,
And then Misty gets up and, proceeds to leave. Pearl chases after with an axe, and it's all chopped liver from there.
I love how the chase was like a slow build up. It was like
Oh,
as slowly she's like slowly just walking. She sees her standing. Pearl just walks out like, "Oh, I see you. I'm gonna chase after you." It's like a slow and then slowly starts her run.
I thought she was gonna. I thought the scene would end with Misty running towards the end of the dock, and she's in front of the lake, and then Pearl just pushes her in. But I was happy with the axe scene too. I thought the axe scene was pretty different as well. Um, so yeah, and then what do you guys think? The one and only time you really do see Howard, he comes into this, Ed, like you were about to bring up, this god awful mess, and what does Pearl say to him? She sees him. She says, "Welcome home," right? Or something amidst those
something
lines.
like that. Dude, oh my god, that putting yourself into those shoes for that matter. That I don't know how he stayed unless he was just that afraid of her. I mean, you get back from World War One, and you probably see all the stuff you've seen yourself. And
Well,
you come home and
if she sets him down and she talks to him the way she talked to Misty and gave that kind of performance, you know, I'm pretty sure, I'm pretty sure he did what was best to take care of Pearl, I guess. I don't know. Um
I think he was just surviving. I
he
think that's
was
it.
he was content.
I don't think so, man, because the look on his face was not content, not okay, I can deal with this. That was I'm married to the craziest bitch on the planet.
What'd you guys think of the ending credits? As they just kept going, you just saw Pearl's face. Did you guys enjoy it? Do you think it was corny? Did you wish it wasn't there?
I thought it was as corny as that field with the scarecrow, man. I've heard that they filmed that on a whim. That they basically kind of were just like, you know what, let's go with this, and that's where they put it.
Nick, did you like the ending
I
cry?
usually love movies that what no, I'm saying I usually love movies that they just continue on, like the movie's ending, but you're just following along
Oh
instead
yeah.
of just looking at your basic names and all that. But that scene, I was like, oh, is that just all right? It keeps going and going. Like, now I feel uncomfortable. Just sitting here watching it.
It was awkward. It was very awkward.
It was awkward, but when you look at the day and age, when you look at Ty West, when you look at X, when you think of Pearl, when you think of A24, and then you see the ending of Pearl smiling, and then just it gets worse and worse. I'm like, you know what? With her wanting to be in the show business, it's perfect. It's smile now, cry later. And it was, I just thought, that's the first thing that came to my mind was the whole smile now, cry later, the deception of pretty much her the entire movie. And
Mine, go ahead.
no, I was just gonna say I thought it was a kind of a perfect way to end the movie.
Mine was that forced kid smile. You know what I mean? Like that kid that's just hardcore cheese, and it's a forced kind of thing because they don't want to take the pictures, and they're just like, okay, mom and dad want this, so kind of making fun of it in a way. And I was just like, this is, yeah, just satirical, man.
Nick, we'll start with you. Did you have a favorite scene and or a favorite kill?
Scarecrow. Not right.
Scarecrow scene.
No, just thinking about it. I think it was the final scenes, pretty much the conversation, or even just that chase down. That was pretty awesome. Kill scene. For now, I'm gonna give it to the mom. Just how crazy it was. Get set on fire and throw hot corn water, and then just getting kicked down to the basement. left to die.
My favorite kill would probably be the Misty death, Nick, for one of the reasons that you said. She starts walking fast out of the house, and then she sees Pearl, and everything just starts slowly picking up the pace. And I thought it was just kind of creepy. And then my favorite scene is going to be the dinner table scene with Mia Goth, explaining if Misty was Howard, how would you tell me? And it was emotional, creepy, intense. Just a great performance in that scene. So that'd be my favorite scene. Ed, what about you? You have a favorite kill or a favorite scene?
Kill projectionist. I mean, honestly, because you were rooting for him to get away, you really were, and then she caught him and gone from there, man. As well as kind of the car in the next movie or the original movie. That was pretty cool little callback. As far as a favorite scene though, it would probably have to be the I would say the dance scene, just because like it was kind of one of those things where she was at the height and she was so confident, and that's kind of the not necessarily the true turn, but it was the last straw that was just like, okay, it's yeah, so this is me now. Because she basically, had so much confidence, and that's why, she was like that with her parents. It was just kind of like, all right, it's caught on now. Dad has no one else. Mom can't do this now because she's burnt. So it is what it is. And just to crash down hard like that was a little different, but at the same time, just kind of a very deeply emotional scene. So
Nice. Star rating. One being absolutely power of the dog shit. Number 10 being, uh, as good as Godfather the Batman can be. Uh, Nick, we'll start with you. What would be your star rating 1 out of 10 for
Ooh,
Pearl?
Pearl. I feel like I need to rewatch it more times, but as right now, I'm gonna go with a 9.
Uh, I'm right there with you. I think because of X was such a different kind of aspect of a film, I didn't know what I was going to expect with Pearl, but now that the movie's over and I've had a full day to cook about it and to let it just simmer in and soak, I think this was like a perfect origin scene, an origin movie for Pearl. And I think if you didn't like X, I would almost say go watch Pearl first and then give X a shot. Pearl is just so much different tasting. It leaves a different taste in your mouth after watching X. And this is one of those films that is almost a little bit more artsy. And I think it's solely based on the performance of Mia Goth. And if she was not in it, I don't know where this movie would stand for me. But right now, the hour and 42-minute movie stands at a 9 for me as well. So 9 stars for me. Edward, what about you?
I'm gonna go ahead and do an 8. Uh,
So
like it.
you like this a lot better than X did.
Yes, I thought this was definitely better than X. Whether this was shot first or the X was shot first, and they just decided to release X first and then this second, I don't care either way. But I do think this was a better film personally. Maxine, we'll see how that goes. Yeah, but yeah, so I definitely would agree. If you haven't seen X, I would recommend seeing this first and then going to see X for that matter, because I think this is a bit better of a take. And I mean, they're in the same year, so released in the same year at least. So,
Maxine is in development. It has not started production yet. It is going to be based about Maxine, though, from X, roughly about almost 10 years later after the events of X.
6.
6 years. So it's going to be based on the 80s. Do you guys want to give any kind of spitball on what you think maybe Maxine will be about? Do you think the trauma and the events of X was so harsh that maybe she turns into a coked up killing actress.
I think she turns into part of that, but instead of like a movie actress, I mean, technically still a
she's
movie
technically, I mean,
actress.
yeah, technically she'll be an adult film star.
Yeah, I was about to say an adult film star, especially with Maxxxine. Yeah. I mean, because it's set in '85 in LA for that matter. So you got to go far to make it, or you got to make it far. It's one of the two, man. Like you don't get another chance if you ruin one. So yeah, I'm gonna say I think it's gonna be a hell of a film, but it's gonna. I think it's gonna surprise several different people. I do. I don't know why, but I do. So lots of stuff based in the '80s now.
Nick, do you have any early thoughts on Maxine or
Just really curious. I
really
mean, what is it
curious?
gonna be like it's gonna be like Halloween. I mean, it's the transfer like Michael Myers to Jamie Lloyd.
Other than that, though, I think that's going to do it for the review of Pearl. Like I said, if you guys want to send in your star rating and your thoughts on Pearl, send them in to cinemen921@gmail.com, and we'll read your email next week on next week's episode. No email bag today since we had the interview with Nicholas Rice a little bit earlier today. I kind of don't want to go too over, but man, yeah, I think that'll be it, unless Ed, unless you have anything you want to add. Next week's episode is going to be all about From Dusk Till Dawn.
Yeah, no, excited about that one, man. It's been a few years since I've watched it, like I said earlier, so all for it.
And then Nick, I'll see you on Wednesday. We talked about it a little bit earlier. Me and Ed did. We're going to review Zack Snyder's not From Dusk Till Dawn. Zack Snyder's
Dust to Dawn of the Dead.
yeah, Zack Snyder's Dawn of the Dead. Are you excited for Wednesday's review?
One of the Dead.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Gotta watch it though before jumping in. I mean, I'll go based off memory, but gotta get a little refresher for that. But
yeah, for sure. I'm gonna probably get my refresher in tomorrow or Wednesday afternoon. But Nick, before we get out of here, where can they follow you and Friday the 14th podcast at?
You can follow me at D4K Bad Guy, as well on this channel doing horror movie reviews. And then Friday the 14th podcast UHD is where you can find our podcast page.
Podcast.
The
page master. But like I said, guys, next Monday, September 26th, From Dusk Till Dawn, Quentin Tarantino, George Clooney, Harvey Keitel. I think it's going to be a fun review. I haven't seen this movie in a few years, and it's one of the first rated R movies that I remember watching as a kid. So I'm excited for next Monday. Until then, guys, go check out Pearl live in your theater, wherever you go see movie theaters at. And unless you guys have anything else, that was Ed. This is Nick. I'm Juan. And guys, thanks for checking us out. We'll see you next Monday right here on the Cine-Men Movie Podcast.